What's good? What to do, YouTube? This is D Chill. I'm back at it like a YouTube addict. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start this video off with giving some shout outs and share my love and appreciation. So let's get to it. First thing, let me pause this. First thing is Cat Mac videos. Uh, Stephen A. Smith for first take. Um, Street TV, Bosco 100, Nina Boy, Cartoon One, Joe T, C Bill, 89 Up Homie, um, Jay Williams, Inglewood Legends, LA Ron, uh, Young Ant, Young Ant Hefe, Damian Porter, um, The Who's Who, um, 16 to Life. That's a cartoon. And who else is it? There's some of y'all that I didn't mention. Or Real Kins TV and Stand Out the Way Trade. Definitely got to mention him. Um, Let me not get into the negative stuff because I was about to say something, and I'm going to say that actually for a video because I really need to do a video about certain things that I have some issues with. So I'm gonna jump straight on into the story. There's more shout outs to come, but want to get that out the way. And then also say comment, like, subscribe, and let me say this. Comment, of course, if you want to, because I don't want to sound like some folks like they're, bullies telling you what to do. You're not gonna almost use the N word. I don't like using that no more. You're not gonna tell me, partner, what I'm gonna do. You're not gonna just make me like your stuff. So that's how I feel when I be listening to some cats like they be running their mouth like they really run things. I be like, something wrong with them. So you don't get a like from me when you come with that corny stuff. But if you like it, then give me a like. If you have a comment, yeah, please comment. Because it don't make no sense to hold that in. You got something that you want to say. Your voice should never be heard if you don't speak it. Speak up, rather. So let's do that. My hands feel so dry. My bad. So let's do that. Let's you know, communicate with each other because this is Chill the Discussions. I made that title for a reason. Let's discuss. There's no reason to fuss. There's no reason to get out of our character and argue. And definitely, I'm not about the cuss and stuff no more. Let's just have a discussion. It's just real simple. We don't need to do all that extra when we can just discuss things that will save us a lot of heartache, a lot of friction, a lot of pain. And that's why we also say there's no reason to be bussing. Three things: no more fussing. We shouldn't be cussing because that doesn't show how educated we are. And to be perfectly honest, well, it does because, to be perfectly honest, Stephen A. Smith, you rarely ever hear him curse unless you go to his own podcast. But he's fluent in terms of speaking that English, saying highly educated. But my point again, he doesn't cuss as much, even in that point, because it doesn't show your education. It shows how less educated you are when you do a lot of cursing. They used to tell me years ago, people cuss a lot because they don't have the words to fill in the gap. So let's fill in the gap. And I like to highlight this book because I'm working on this because I know how important it is for us to get educated so that we can utilize more words instead of just saying, you know what I'm saying, or cursing and saying this, that, and the other. Just keep repeating ourselves and saying the same thing over and over again when we can use different words to fill in the gap. But when we're not educated, that's what we tend to do. So Yeah, let's get that out the way. And also, the last thing is, no, there's no reason to do no bussing if we're having a discussion. If we communicate and talk about some things, we can get a lot out the way so we don't have to do those three things. We can stop the fussing, stop the cussing, and stop the bussing, and just have a simple discussion. For real. Because I used to be one that did all three of the above. For real. Not trying to highlight it. I'm just keeping it real because that's not something I do anymore. So I want to share that piece of knowledge. It helps us all. But back to the topic. Um, I just turned off. I'm learning to start watching more documentaries. I was listening to a dude that does he has a podcast talking about doing not credit. I used to do credit. What's it called again? Not taxes. Dang it, boy! I tell you. Take care of your health, y'all, because them strokes ain't no joke. I'm still struggling with my short-term memory because I had a stroke and it was a bad one. And when you can't, you remember things that were just in your brain 20 seconds ago. It's frustrating, but it's also don't make a lot of sense. But he educates you on the stock market. That's what it was, and that's one thing he said that he did for 6 years. He stopped watching television, with the exception of history, religious things, and I believe there was one other thing. And that makes a lot of sense because you can really learn a lot and get past a lot of foolishness and get yourself together if you educate yourself on watching other things. So with that being said, I started back watching my old a lot of the videos I used to watch that pertain to history, and I like, of course, our Black history because there's so much of it that's been missed or never talked about. But anyway, um, so I was watching Quincy Jones, and soon as I was getting ready to start the video, they put up a they started talking about where he kind of originated up here in terms of, I believe, was the music scene. And they showed the Seattle ferry docks. They had a sign at the bottom. It said Seattle, and then he said his dad moved him to the state of Washington. And for y'all that don't know, there was a school right here at Garfield, and they named one of their I forget what it is because I've never been to the thing, but they named something at Garfield after him. I think their auditorium or music something. They named it after him, and he and his wife, and then I think his sister ended up owning this house that was literally right down the street from my home that I lived at. And it's a trip because we used to go through there, and they had a swimming pool and all that. And one time they let us come in, but just a trip when you find out Quincy Jones' sister stays at this place when you're a kid, and you're walking past that house, just tripping out. Anyway, my bad, y'all. Kind of get off the subject, but the point is, a lot of things started in Seattle, Washington. So I'm glad I did get that clip in my brain, and I wanted to mention it to y'all. And when I get really good, and now I got my laptop, when I get, let me not say really good, when I start educating myself, because it's on me, I should have been doing that since I had my laptop. Throw out the excuses. I really need to get on here today and start working on doing reaction videos because it's not that hard, and it should be something a whiz that I should be able to get through. And then also, download all the YouTube and all, because I just got it, and download everything I need so that I can do the reaction videos, because then I would have loved to have put that up here and put that into my video, because once I started doing all these creative things, my videos and my channel will pop out more. My bad, y'all. My videos and my platform will pop out more if I have everything the right way. Really looking professional and talking professional and putting everything together. So, and that's on me. But I kid you not. There's so much that started in Seattle, and we don't get a lot of credit for it. People don't mention it. For instance, the Black Panther Party. To my understanding, I'm going off the history that was given to me, and I could be incorrect. Somebody can correct me about that in the comments. But what I was told, outside of Oakland, California, Seattle, Washington was the first place that they had a base or a Panther party outside of Oakland. We were the first city in the state. I mean, in the country. People don't realize that. 34th and Union, the doctor's office I go to right now, Carolyn Downs. I tell these people this often because they did some scandalous things, in my opinion, and I had to say something to them about this. Like, y'all know I've been coming here since I was 5 years old, right up on 34th and Union, Carolyn Downs. That's where she used to be located. But at the time, I didn't even know this. I'm saying when I was a kid, I didn't even know that the Black Panther Party was right across the street. There was a barber shop right there, and my partner Rock, who lived right around the corner, who still lives, his grandmother, his mother, and grandmother, I believe, no, yeah, just those three, been living there probably since the 40s or 50s. I'm sure I know the 50s because that's when my mama was born and they were living around there. But it's just a trip of how much knowledge and stuff have come from our little city, and people don't realize that we're really getting tight. A lot has come from us. Water doesn't go up a hill, water goes downhill. We're up at the top of the coast. So a lot of stuff is coming down. And y'all might be a bigger state, but trust me, we got a lot going on up here. And we're really, really on it up here in a major way. So I'm talking across the board. You name it, we've done it. So I want to highlight some things that people have not or they don't know that these things have started in Seattle. So we know Quincy Jones, he kind of highlights or started his career because the way he explained it was like he started here from high school. So I don't believe he was in the music industry at the time. He started going to local clubs and things like that, which more likely was Oscars. And that's used to be up on Madison. I don't know if it was there then, but Oscars, that's one of the places that, yeah, maybe not. He may have not started there, but I definitely remember Ray Charles, and they talked about it in his video, and that's where he kind of got his start at as well, was right up here in Seattle. And Oscars was mentioned as one of the places. I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost certain that Oscars was mentioned because they were, talking about, yeah, they said they had got some food from Oscars. Yeah. So that's way back in the 50s or 60s. I think it was the 50s. But these are the things that people don't realize, that a lot of great people have started here. Bruce Lee started up here. I did videos about him. Uh, Jimi Hendrix started up here. Well, he may not have started, but then again, Jimi Hendrix went to Garfield, so more likely he started up here. Kenny Rogers, no, Kenny G. Well, what is this funny? Because I loved his what's that called again? And I'm not going to say pause. I don't understand that. I'm gonna talk about that one day. That must be a new generational type of thing that y'all be doing. But you can't say certain things without saying pause behind it. I mean, let me not say what I wanted to say because I don't want to offend nobody. But the point is, a lot of things have started up here, and a lot of people have started here. Great people have started right here in my city, our city. I can't say me because they've got partners that's up and over me and partners that's my age that was doing a lot, or if not more than me, period. So I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, but a lot is taking place here in our city. And so Kenny G, uh, yeah, I believe Kenny G is the name. Yeah, Kenny G, and he jazz. I love jazz. My uncle got me hip to jazz when I was young, and I've been loving it ever since. He used to be driving me in his Thunderbird. Commercial brakeman, Joe T. He used to be driving in his Thunderbird, taking me places, and he be listening to the jazz and tapping on the steering wheel. And little do you know, one day I brought it to his attention when I got older, and he just smiled because he didn't realize his nephew was in the back seat. Because sometimes he'd just come pick me up. Because my auntie, I love her, my aunt Darlene, she loved her nephew and always used to come pick me up. There's something inside of me where a lot of my older aunts and family members would come and get me and just have me hang out because I had older brothers, but they would just come get me for whatever reason I didn't know, and just would have me around, just hanging out with them and taking me places, or just be at the house and hanging with them. But it was pretty much my two aunties, my aunt Darlene and my aunt dang it, well, her and my uncle split up, but I still, ooh, sometimes it bothers me the stroke stuff because I love that woman. She was she used to always be in my life. Put it like that, and she was always great to me. But so anyway, back to the story. So my point is, I'm just highlighting that there's so much and so many people that have started out or got their break and started doing things right here in Seattle. Of course, you guys know about Sir Mix-a-Lot. We lived in the same neighborhood. I never forget when I was young. I went to California hanging with my uncle, and I'll never forget my uncle's one of his buddies he hung around with was Bobcat. I don't know his actual name that he may use now, or if he changed it when he was working with LL, but at the time he was just starting. This was way back, and they were scratching. That's when my uncle and all them guys to scratch. I learned how to scratch in Lancaster, California, and I'll never forget. I heard about him, my uncle. That was his buddy, and they used to go do different parties and all that. So when I came back to Seattle, we all used to go to the Boys and Girls Club on 19th and Spruce. I lived on 15th and Spruce. That's my neighborhood. Hence the sign and the name of the. Oh, heck, I can't do this. The name of the group or the name I came up with for uh, me and my cousin that started this 15th Spruce Media Group. Yeah, I should have just turned it around because it's a lot bigger on the back. But yeah, so that's our neighborhood. We, lived there together. And I never forget, I told my brother, I was like, man, what are you talking about? He was talking about, what's the name? Sir Mix-a-Lot, how good he was. He was still young doing Boys and Girl Club parties and stuff like that. I was like, man, you're tripping. Bobcat's way filthier than him. And that's just a Seattle slang we've been using, meaning real good. And he had said something to him. And so makes I start chasing me around the little van they had for the thing. And I started trying to get somewhere from him, but it's just a trip on how many people have started or did whatever they do here in this town from way back when. We have a lot of greats. But I mentioned all that to say this because I just wanted to point out this is how dynamic, filthy we are. We're trendsetters and we have been for so long. That's just Seattle. Something that a lot of people have, maybe they're not familiar, maybe they don't know, and we're just saying different things or words, and we're wondering, well, wow, we're not even wondering, we're just saying it. And I'm going to educate you guys on certain words, phrases that have originated here in Seattle, and I can get those individuals that highlighted or started that phrase at that time and have them on the platform and let them explain it, when, exactly, why, how they had. I'm gonna give you my spiel because I'm from the outside kind of looking in, and this is my take on it. So back in the days, the Bloods and Crips got up here, mid 80s, depending on who you talk to, 86, 87, some may say 84, 85. Like I said, depending on who you talk to. And so, they had dominated the scene once they got here. We're used to the New York flavor. We're used to the B-boy and a bunch of my cats, especially them D-Dubs. When I say D-Dub, it's DWC or DWTC. Devastating Top Wisdom Crew. That's something that Nunu taught me. I didn't even know. I just thought it was Down with the Crew. until he broke it down like that's the original name was there. So anyway, my bad. I'm gonna get thrown off. So them cats were b-boys, and to this day a bunch of them still be in Adidas and sweatsuits, just still a b-boyed out. Like that's just who they are, and that's how we rock. We represented the b-boy scene like a lot of states did, because New York really had that popping, the b-boy thing, and everybody was on to the b-boy scene. To this day, that's what they do. So the Crips, when they came up here in Bloods, it started dominating the scene, and things started changing, gang bang, and of course, different cats started running with different. Some went Bloods, some went Crips, and then later, a little bit later, a bunch of them started going BGD, Black Gangster Disciples. That's just how it was in Seattle. You had a mixture. There was Vice Lords, but it wasn't that many. But so anyway, certain cats, this is my opinion from what I've viewed, they got tired of doing things and saying things like how other people said that we're doing things. It was either my little homie, my big homie, the homie this, the homie that. And these one particular set group of cats, which was them D-Dubs, trendsetters, I just started hearing them say, oh, yeah, no, that's my bro. Oh, that's my big bro. I just started hearing that word, and I'm be real with you. At first, I was like, "What are these cats up to? They don't want to say my homie, like they want to be different." But I wasn't. I gotta keep it clean. I respect it so much now, but at the time, I was being a buster. Let me just be real, because I was so out of pocket for even kind of downplaying what they was doing, like somebody from out of state is doing something better than what my partners is trying to start here in their own city, and I just wasn't paying attention to it. This was 1995, if I'm correct, literally 30 years ago. My baby just celebrated her 30th birthday, and she was born in 95. A couple days ago was her birthday. So it's just a trip on how things had transpired. But I remember as years went on, I started paying attention to how, now I'll say recently, but years went on when it started, more people just start saying, bro this, my bro that. You even got cats in LA, Compton, Watts saying bro this, my bro, instead of the norm, cuz, the homie, my bro. That started in Seattle, Washington. I kid you not, because I remember the time I had first heard the cat saying it was in the South End, and that's where the D-Dubs are primarily from. And we're in the South End, and man, they were coming out of Fabro's, a known club, and I just never forget the cat was saying something about, oh, bro this and bro that, and I was just like, that's kind of when I first took notice of that word, and I had the thoughts of what I just said to y'all, and I just, okay, brushed it off, and then here we go, decades later, and now the word is all over the country, if not other places, and it's just something y'all be like, Hmm. No one's ever talked about it. You got to think about it. No one, to my knowledge, has ever brought up this topic. Like, where did it actually come from? Was it just something that we always said it? No, because down south it was bruh. No one has ever really highlighted the phrase of just bro, my bro. Them cats started that up here because they wanted to be different. They didn't want to be associated with no more like the big homie or the little homie. So it became my big bro, the bros, my little bro. Them cats started that right here in Seattle, Washington. And I promise you, I'm going to call my guy in a little bit, one of my partners, and get him on here and have him give his analysis, because he's from D-Dub, and he can give y'all the timing, the where, what, who was the main person that came up with it. Did they sit down and talk about it? What was the case? Because in my opinion, I think it had to be one of those things where it was just like they talked about it. This is my thinking that they like, man, we got to quit doing this, man. We're not gonna keep acting like we're them cats because I know how Seattle cats think. We're not gonna keep on running behind them. We're not holding on nobody's coattail. This is just what we do. Because when the B boys is doing it, that was a countrywide thing. But how it came from LA, it was more of a this was a LA, California dominated thing, and folks were like the gangbanging wasn't all over the country, but the b-boy scene it was culture more or less. Gangbanging that's really not culture because you're killing each other. B-boy, we're doing graffiti, we're hanging out, we're tagging different crews, breakdancing. That's how you got your issue out. You break dance my crew against your crew, or you pop lock my crew against your crew. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how the culture was. So it's different in my opinion. But so I wanted to shed light to my guys from the South, and I'm talking about the South End here in Seattle. That's just something that, in my opinion, someone can tell me something different that had to give me proof, evidence, and all of that. But as far as I know, and I've heard out of my ears when it happened, that bro phrase that's on television commercials all over the country, that started right here in Seattle, Washington, from them cats. Now, here's something else that people may not be aware of, and this right here, this is kind of debatable because I'm not 100% sure on how that works with forgive me y'all, that's my pit behind me. This cat is incredible. I have to put him on here because he is comical. Yeah, for real. But I don't know if you guys been hearing different times cats will say bet that, bet that, bet that. Another cat from D Dub. This is just this one cat I know. He used to say that all the time, around the same time, if not a little bit further than the 95. He would say it all the time. To this day, when I get off the phone with him, when we're talking, all right, bro, I'm gonna let you go. All right, bet that. That's what he says before he hangs up. He's been doing it for a long time, and it's just a trip on how I've heard that phrase. And then I even one day asked him, like, man, did you get that from somewhere? Or where did that? Nah, D, I just started saying it. So again, I have to interview him and have him give y'all his analysis on where and how that took place. Now, this is a Cali thing. This particular thing I'm about to tell y'all right here. This is a trip. When I used to go to school, I went to Lancaster, not Lancaster High. It was the Antelope Valley. I couldn't get into the Antelope Valley High School, so I had to go to what they call the like. Not dang it, man. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. When you can't go to a regular high school and you go to the one for people that's in gangs or got in trouble, and it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's just not coming out what they called it, but that's the kind of high school I had to go to. They call it Desert Winds. So while I went to school at and to my grandmother's or to my job was a lot further. It was on 20th Street East, and my school was on 5th Street, still on the east side, but it's on 5th Street, but it's going almost all the way to Lancaster Boulevard, which is a lot further down. So I used to have to pretty much walk maybe 2 miles, if not longer. I'm just being nice by saying 2 miles. But it was so long walking from there to my house or going to work because I worked at Taco Bell, my first job ever at 17. It was so far. And so people would see me often. I had this one white dude, cool dude in my school, and whenever he would see me riding, he had this little two-door or something. I'm not sure what it was, but whenever he would see me riding, I think it was a Volvo. He would come through with his little beats and pull over, kind of chubby dude. Shout out to you, I appreciate you, bro. He would pull over. Hey, where you going? You want to work or home? Because he got familiar with the schedule when he would see me, and he is sheen and take me either way to work or home. So I appreciate him. But now this other dude was a black dude, didn't know him at all. And one day he had just pulled up and he was in a blue truck. Because back in the days, a lot of cats are driving them trucks and they have beats in their trucks. And I'm not talking about the big K5s, I'm talking about the little smaller truck. I don't know how to explain it because I have a what's it called, a S10 pickup. That's kind of like what he had back then. So he had saw me like, hey man, you need a ride? I see you walking. I was like, yeah, man. I forget where I was going, either home or I could have been to my auntie's house too, because she lived on 4th Street, but a lot closer than Granny's house. And so I was like, yeah, man, I appreciate it. And so after a while, he would see me periodically. I'm not sure if he was just getting off work when I was getting out of school, but he would see me and it'd be like, no problem. He would give me a ride. And it got to a point because I started catching on to it, and he would be like, all right then. And then before he let me go, he would always say, in a minute, in a minute. Now I would just be like, peace, because I was still kind of the word from how the New York cats did it. It was still something that was a Seattle thing. And I'll give you guys a story about that because that's when I started having issues with certain out of town cats. But so anyway, one day he was getting a ride and he's taking me, he's dropping me off. I'll never forget, it was at my aunt's house. He dropping me off and I was like, all right, bro, peace. He said, no, say in a minute. Because he had like a slur to it, but say in a minute. He had a little slur to his talk. And it used to be so funny to me how he talked, but I was young. I wasn't trying to be rude, but it's just funny to me. But then I really started laughing in my head because I'm thinking like, who this cat think he is gonna try to tell me, even though he's older, gonna try to tell me what I need to say, and when I get done or when I'm leaving him, say in a minute, don't say peace or whatever. And I just looked at him because I never you really used that phrase, but it was a trip to me just hearing that. And so fast forward, this was 1990. Because I know for certain the year I went to California and the year I came back from California. So this was 1990, definitely way before those other things I told you that took place with different things, the bros in Seattle. Now check this. I just thought about this maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm just like, wait a minute, because I was thinking about the bros thing. Like this cat, he didn't started something, in my opinion, because I don't remember people saying it, or I'll put it like this: when I heard it, and then after that, how it became really big, and a lot of people started saying it. The only thing I can trace back to where it came from was that cat in Lancaster, California, because every time he dropped me off, all right then, in the minute. And I just trip off of that because I'm like, wow, this cat said something years ago, and now a bunch of people have been using that when they get done talking on the phone. They're about to go, all right, in a minute. Not something I used to say, but sometimes I have said it. But back then it wasn't. Period. But a lot of people are using it now. It's just a trip how one person can say something so simple and it can become something so big. So I save what I consider a big thing for me. And anyway, on my birthday, I'm explaining myself, and I'm gonna be done after this. I'm explaining why I started this. We can go back and look at my Facebook when I first sent that message out to my brother, because his birthday is literally a month or so after me. Like we are the same age for about a month and some change. Period. Every time my birthday hit, we're the same age, and that's just how I've been. So I would always say happy birthday to him right after he said happy birthday to me, because his birthday is, like I said. Anyway, so one day it just dawned on me because my birthday is on the 4th of July, and my uncle used to really love doing the fireworks big. He been doing that. Anybody know my uncle was known for putting big displays of, you think you go and watch it at your park or your city, wherever your water shows, that's where our shows are majority. They're on the water. You see them big old things going in the air. Yeah, partner used to do that right in front of his house in the South End, and it would come pick me up to watch it. Excuse me. And that's why I became, that's when I started doing it. When I got older, I was like, man, I go spend hundreds and get boxes of stuff and come put out, do big displays with filthy things going up in the air and all that, and let the kids do their little sparklers and all the rest of that thing. The smoke bombs, firecrackers, some of them that are old and age appropriate, and they ain't gonna hurt themselves. That was my thing. I love to do it. Just have a big display of different fireworks, and I loved it because that's what my uncle taught me. Plus, it's my birthday. But I used to do it all the time, along with a barbecue. So I've been doing this for the longest. Listen, I've had plenty of them done on Lake Washington. I'm talking about big barbecues, and then we have the the firework displays. I didn't had ocean shore parties. Rented out two houses, and we're doing it up big because of my birthday. It got to a point where something dropped in my spirit, and it was clear as day. This is way before the stroke. Dorian, you need to enjoy your day. And it's like hit me, and I started thinking about it like, yeah, because here I am before working at Boeing, before injuring my back, before having any back issues. It was like I'm going out here lighting all these fireworks, I'm doing all this on my day. I'm supposed to be sitting back, relaxing, enjoying my day, and I'm doing all this extra. And so I was like, okay, I'm about to stop doing all this extra and just enjoy my day. So sure enough, what happened? I started saying that's what I'm going to do. So I went. The next, like I said, my brother's birthday came up, and I was like, okay, let me just give my brother a shout out, tell him happy birthday, and then at the end of the message, I said to him, on this day, I believe it was either 2014 or 2012, because I believe it was before I left from Seattle, going back to stay with my grandma in Lancaster, California. I believe it was around that time, but I'd have to go to my Facebook, an old one, and pull up that information to see exactly when it was, because I don't believe it was on the cell phone. It was on um, Facebook when I said happy birthday to him and enjoy your day with three exclamation marks. Exclamation marks. How the heck you say that word? Literally, I said that to him those years ago, just wanting to say happy birthday to my big brother, and also telling him enjoy your day, because I learned what I needed to do. So I was thinking, okay, let me start telling everybody on their birthday, because it wasn't just my brother. It just was, that's the first person that I said it to, because I know it vividly, because remember it vividly rather, because his birthday, like I said, is so right behind mine. So I started doing that, and people that know me that's from this town, they should remember how often when their birthday hits, because whoever's on Facebook knows to send you notification whose birthday is, and then everybody will do their little response. And that's something that you see all the time. Anyone that knows Dorian will know, happy birthday, enjoy your day. It was always what I would say with it was the same way for everyone. Of course, unless you're family and say whatever else you say to family, but it was consistent. And I kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it. When I knew that this thing had gone beyond me, family, and friends, because you started seeing family and friends that you know saying the same thing to other people. When I knew this thing started getting bigger than me and the family, as one day I had seen or saw, I believe it was Marshawn Lynch's mom or Mama Sherman, one or the other. It was one of their friends or family members' birthday, and they were still playing for the Seahawks, and they had said she did what I basically what I said. Let me slow down. My bad, y'all. I have a tendency to do that. Commercial break me. As being the youngest in my family at the time, in my generation, I'm talking pretty much younger than not just me and my brothers, all of my cousins. I've always been the youngest, and I was a small guy, and they terrorized me. I couldn't get it. I better hurry up with whatever I got to say, or they're going to dominate the conversation and just talk over me. So I've always rushed my conversation because they always punked me pretty much. I got to tell y'all some story, man. How they put me through the ringer. Then they wonder why I was hard on females. You should have seen what the female cousins did to me. Slapping, punking, knocked me, not out, but I seen stars. I done got some things dealt to me. Man, my girl cousins was, oh, they did me wrong. So anyway, my bad for saying all that because I don't want to say nothing derogatory about the women because I learned a lot. I respect y'all. However, it just really tripped me out to see how things had changed so quickly, especially knowing that you started saying something, and then after you didn't said a certain thing, now it's to the point where this woman, her son's super. I mean, they haven't won the Super Bowl at the time, if it was 2012, but they're legends because of the Legion of Boom and because of the team. We were really good at the time. But for that person to mention what you've been saying to your family members, that's when I knew it had caught fire. And I knew that this thing was about to be bigger than I expected. But then it just got to the point where it's like all over the place, and not just on Facebook. Whenever someone's birthday it is, now it almost became a regular saying, enjoy your day. Folks wasn't just using that normal terminology just then. It literally went from me making that comment, not saying I created the the phrase. I'm just saying in that respect for that particular situation, your birthdays, literally people started doing that, saying what I was saying right after I had started doing what I was doing. And it just tripped me out. Like, you got to be kidding me. And I sometimes ask people over the years, like, man, have you heard when people been saying that, da 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 da, and they'd be like, yeah. I'm like, man, did you know I had started that, man? On my bro's birthday. Like, what? Because they knew his birthday, what type of day it was. And it's just a trip when I look back at something so small that became so big, and you just got to be happy and take credit for what you've done, and just know that you're a trendsetter. And if you can speak about 3 words and make it catch fire like that, then you know that you have a voice and you can speak about things that are far greater than that, and you to help educate and help encourage other people to move ahead and get out of the stuff that they're in and to push yourself to the next limit. That's something else I recently been saying a lot. Push, push. Not just be it. Because my mind, and I don't say all just what I'm saying now, is I'm trying to tell people whatever you're going through, or if somebody's done something good, push. Keep on going through, or keep on pushing through that. Whatever you're going through, push through that. So it's like certain things you say you want to help the next person grow and get better. Because I've learned the only way we're going to ever get better in life is we have to change our mentality and help the next person. And I know I used to be a person that downplayed and down talked people and had spoke so derogatory to everybody, period. I'm not gonna say just no females. I used to be reckless and real dumb how I used to treat different neighborhoods and people that I was feuding with. So it all started with me having the way how I talk to men or young men at the time. It didn't start with no females, even though I went through some stuff with my family members. No. Before I even had those relationships with women later, I was out in the streets having wars with other folks, and this is how I pushed on them. So I've learned that to better myself and my community, I need to change from the old D Chill, the person who was real evil, reckless, and did some really low and despicable things to other folks to hurt them. I need to encourage and do more to help us all grow, because there's someone that didn't help me grow. There's people that do it daily, that teach me and talk to me to get me to be a better Dorian, to be a better person. So I wanted to just give you guys that story, or those stories rather, in a nutshell. And again, I'm not going to say pause because I said nutshell. Like, why would I? I'm a man. I can say a word and keep it going. I don't need to say extra just to make you not think that what? Like, I know who I am, and anyone that knows me should know who I am. And like I say, or I've been saying to folks, ask your chick. Yeah, if you think I'm anything that you, because this new age and everybody else's brains is changing, they're doing all this different weird stuff. You don't believe me? Like my stepdaddy would say, boy, go ask your mama. Yeah, go ask your chick. Because they know D Chill and who he was and how he represented, and he put it down very well. Yeah. So I don't need to cover up anything that I say when I'm communicating. But forgive me, y'all. I done went on that rant that quick. Boy, like I say, we all need encouragement, and I'm a work in progress. Sometimes I get caught up, and I'm working on dialing it back because I'm no longer that man or that person that used to do all that foolishness. Because I wasn't a man at the time. I may have been legally the age limit, but I was still a boy because I was acting like a child. When you're a man, you don't act and do things like that. So when you become a man, you put away those childish ways and you start talking and respecting folks and having a better line of communication, because at the end of the day, you respect all people because you want to be respected as well. And being a man, you respect everybody, period. Because you're not being a little child trying to think you're so tough that you can down talk about everybody and that's manly. No, that's cowardly. Let me just be straight with you, because I was one of them. So I'm working on becoming a man. So um, y'all help me and I help y'all. So again, we're not here to do no fussing, no cussing, and no bussing. All we're here to do is have an open, honest discussion. If you like it, if you like the story, like it, please comment, subscribe, and share. There could be other people that might like it, or it could be other people that know about this story, and you may not be like, let me share it with somebody that's closer to his city, or someone that may know about this story, get their opinion on this, and then we can have us a discussion about it. So I appreciate your time. There's plenty more to come. I got quite a bit of information, man. If y'all knew, this is right here. This is like 7 pages, and it doesn't nip the surface of how much more stuff I have behind me. And there's plenty up here. And of course, there's things that I just can't talk about. And one of my partners just got out, and he's back around the town. And he told me he's gonna come talk to me. I'm glad I didn't do one video that I wanted to do. That would be really big, but I gotta, even if I change up the name, I gotta respect him, because people in Seattle, they're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. And then the phones are gonna get to ringing, folks calling around. Then it's gonna be like, D, why'd you do that? And made me think of my other partner. He used to call me MOAD. Yeah, man, I had some times. Phew, that cat came to my rescue with a big, either was a fofo or 357 on this, the white Cutlass on D's, beaten, clean, big old joint, and I'm in the south and it flamed up, and the kitchen's caught me slipping. Whew! That cat did come back through that quick, I would have been in trouble. But I appreciate him. I got to tell the stories, the things that he didn't told me, and I learned from him and that story in its totality. So my bad, y'all. Just gave you a snippet of. I'm going to definitely tell you another story about some of the stuff. But let me quit running my mouth. Forgive me because I don't like it when people just be talking and wasting time when you need to just get to the subject and just get off of this joint because folks don't have time for us to be repeating ourselves, saying the same thing 3 and 4 times, or it's just cussing just to be cussing because we ain't got the correct wording to fit. Man, people ain't got time for that. Things are going by fast. We got to be in and out and be done quickly, or we're going to lose people quickly. So forgive me. I appreciate it. Take care, y'all.